Every breath that I take is the proof of my gift. What I seek takes me there. Every dream's on track. I am light, I am whole. All abundance flows back. Time is my ally, the present my gold. Every truth I embody turns to riches untold. From the silence I rise, from the stillness I see. All I need, all I ask flows with ease into me. I breathe in, I receive. I breathe out, I believe. I am here, I am blessed. I exist, I possess. I am paid to exist. Abundance on my list. Every breath that I take is the proof of my gift. What I seek seeks me back. Every dream's on track. I am light, I am whole. All abundance flows back. I am paid to exist. Abundance on my list. Every breath that I take is the proof of my gift. What I seek seeks me back. Every dream's on track. I am light, I am whole. All abundance flows back. I align with the
Oh, hey, how you doing? Long time no see. I've been good. How about you? Today, I'm going to be talking all about romantic relationships. Okay, good. Did you do any journaling today? So, I am tired of talking about this shit, but who got married? I don't know. Probably a lot of people. And probably even more people in 2011. Yesterday was your birthday. Okay, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Thank you for the follow. Did you do anything special? And actually, yesterday was 11/10/9. Or 9/10/11, however you look at it. Oh, just dinner? Okay. Shit, that's what I do for my birthday for the most part. Tom, you asked who got married, and look, 11/11. I think I got spiritually married. How about that? one day.
What I seek takes me back. Every dream's on track. I am like I am whole. I'm the one that flows back. I align with the flow.
So the message that I was challenging, I said challenging for a reason. This message is a challenging one. However, the message I was channeling is it's about hold on just a second. So I don't know what I know. Okay. So the next song, I ain't like that first song on the shuffle. But the next song is Sunshine. And of course, today would be the 1111 portal. 1111 has to do with the sun. It's like the number of the sun. And so, I started out thinking about the dark feminine. And then a notification came across my screen where Billy Carson had titled his live, "Are you a warrior or a warrior?" And so we struggle with romantic relationships because we don't know how to just be in the moment. When we are able to just be in the moment and exit that moment when it's over, we can disconnect from the outcome. We can disconnect from the person. We can disconnect from the energy that was generated between the two people. And so I had a long conversation with someone today. And I was saying, trying to talk to spirit, like, what was the purpose of this conversation? Because I know that every interaction I have has a purpose. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever. And so I was just, sitting here pondering, and spirit was basically saying that I was planting seeds today. And that's what the dark feminine or the feminine energy does. We are so powerful. And that's, as we all know, that's the reason why we have been suppressed so much. Because when you have a story, and I've been talking about this story now for a while, for a couple of lives, where the story of Isis, the story of her putting the masculine energy within her back together. So that's like the Osiris Isis story. Osiris gets dismembered, not literally, but spiritually. And so the dismemberment of the masculine is like, for instance, when a masculine, I'm just going to use masculine, gender neutral, take what resonates, take it how it resonates. But let's say we're talking about a true masculine, I don't want to say true, but masculine and feminine, a male and female, that's how they were born or whatever. Just to keep the story simple. I'm not excluding anyone from the story. So when you have the spiritual dismemberment of the masculine, like the story of Osiris. That turns into like a death. And after a death, there's a rebirth. When you have a death, a spiritual death, that's like an awakening. The rebirth is the awakening. And it's the same with natural death. Immediately after the energy leaves the body in death, it immediately resurrects or rebirths into the spirit realm. And so when the masculine energy was dismembered, that was like a situation where, let's say you had a friend from high school and or even in college, and that masculine thought that they met the love of their life. They thought that this person embodied all of the aspects that, turned them on and made them, like inspired them and ignited their passions, and they could see themselves being with this person for the rest of their life. And the person had like everything, from an intimate standpoint, including sexuality, and then also had everything from like a business acumen, charismatic, very driven, very intelligent, most of the things that men like to see embodied in a woman while remaining feminine. Okay. And so this feminine dismembered the energy of this masculine, totally, just, without provocation. Let's say maybe just ghosted the person, left the relationship, or had a situation where they just simply, something happened that broke the person's heart, so to speak, broke it apart or dismembered it, like Osiris. Being that Isis is the feminine Isis is the feminine portion of Source. So Source is the masculine and feminine. Isis is the feminine and Ra is the masculine. And I talk about Israel. Isis, Ra, and El is Source. And Ra is the sun god. And so, I talk about how people, true esoteric people, may argue me down about this, but this is the download that I got about that trinity. But anyway, so the masculine dies spiritually and Osiris goes to the afterlife. Now he's in charge of the afterlife. But there still has to be a resurrection. And so because the masculine is the one that died and Isis was responsible for putting the masculine within her back together, now she's responsible for creating this masculine child who is now healed and balanced and put together from her healed feminine and her healed masculine. And I talk about how the Isis baby was Horus, and I talk about the fact that Horus is basically the story that they have created as Jesus. And so that was, they look at Jesus, they call Jesus the Son. Well, it's actually S-U-N. So the download that I got was that when Osiris, the masculine energy, was dismembered and went to the afterlife, then this baby Horus is now resurrecting the sun, S-U-N. And so I talk about the difference between being in human form and being in a human vessel. So Isis embodied source in human form, because in human form it doesn't expire. It's not like a vessel. In the human vessel, that's what expires. And so I said all that to say, because this scenario happens every day. But because the feminine has been so suppressed, there have not been enough feminine energies that embody like an Isis energy with a healed masculine and feminine to be able to heal the masculine in general. And so when this, like, going back to this masculine, when that masculine got dismembered, so to speak, metaphorically, by this traumatic relationship, now they have, like a decision to make, or energetically they have a decision to make. Either they're going to let that continue to drive their relationships, and they're going to allow that to like transform their heart, or what did I write? So either it's going to, hold on, y'all. Either it's going to create a situation where, well, it creates a situation where it does transform the heart, but not in a healthy way. And so because this masculine's heart is now transformed, but in a negative way, people lead with their heart, even though we don't really know it. Like, we think that we're rationalizing and analyzing and all those things, but when you don't have mind and heart coherence, a lot of times we're still leading from a broken heart, which is affecting our thought process. Instead of having like a healthy mind, a healthy heart, we're leading with this broken heart, which is compromising how we think, how we perceive, how we make choices. And so I was talking to this friend about how I've encountered several different men who choose a wife who is a great mother, but it doesn't necessarily this feminine doesn't necessarily embody every aspect that they're looking for. So the person may be a great mother, great entrepreneur, but not so much in the sex area. And so essentially the person is sacrificing that sexual connection for what they think is a practical thing. Because really, that person that caused them all this trauma to their heart or dismemberment of their energy, the thought of being with someone who, like I was saying, hitting on all cylinders, the thought of being with a person like that scares the hell out of them, because they've experienced how painful it is to lose someone like that. And so it becomes like the safe place, or the low-hanging fruit, or the comfort zone, to start choosing feminines who don't totally embody both aspects that they're looking for. But eventually that shit gets old. Eventually, when the kids get older, or maybe even before the kids are older, that person is like, this shit is whack. Like, especially if the person has a lot of drive and things like that and is neglecting the relationship for the drive. Thank you for the gifts. And so then let's say this person then gets a divorce or whatever and then goes seeking for another type of energy. So more than likely, if they had the okay, you're a great mother, like Empress type energy, great mother, great entrepreneur, okay, that's great, but I was lacking in the sex area. So now they're seeking and trying to find someone to fulfill that aspect. But in doing that, if this masculine has not had a feminine to heal their heart, heal their energy, put them back together essentially along the way, they are not able to, or they may or may not be able to make a sound decision with the next person that they're with. I'm not saying this is 100% for every situation. So you said Arisha. Oh, that's AI. Whatever. So AI said Osiris's spiritual death and rebirth. Ask about the Trinity. AI is wild, y'all. I'm the only one that can see it, but it's like prompting me. So what happens is there may be another person that comes along that fulfills that other aspect, but not both. And so sometimes spirit will present this masculine with the feminine energy that is healing, that is transforming, that will put him back together. But it's still, when that person presents, it still is a problem for that masculine because he's still operating from a place like, oh my God, this person embodies both parts of what I'm looking for. Is this feminine reminds me of who broke my heart when I was in high school or college or whatever. And so that then creates a challenge for the feminine. And so I'm talking to the feminines who have gone through relationship after relationship, and I'm talking about healed feminines. Nobody's ever 1000% healed in a vessel, but I'm talking about you have done the work, you saw things about yourself that you wanted to change, and you worked to change those things, and people don't recognize you now. Like, you now is unrecognizable to people who knew you like back in high school. Totally transformed. And so when you have a situation like that, when you have a feminine energy that embodies a balanced masculine and feminine within, that embodies immense healing energy, who embodies transformational energy, you spark awakenings in people, you open gifts in people, and you just doing this automatically, pretty much unconsciously, because when I talk about this energy does not have to do spell work. They're not manipulating anyone's free will. They're not doing anything to create a scenario where it could compromise someone's free will. So your energy, just you having a pure heart, you wanting to see the other people be successful, draws this type of energy to you. And it seems like over and over again, you're being beat up by relationships, you're being ghosted, you're scaring people constantly, you're encountering masculines who like get a small whiff of you and then they're out because it just completely reminds them of what happens previously. So sometimes what spirit does is they allow the feminines that embody this energy to encounter certain masculines in order to help heal them, in order to plant seeds in them, in order to show them a different side of the feminine energy, a different angle of, well, maybe I could possibly be in a relationship with the person who has both aspects. Because when that masculine energy was dismembered, they end up feeling like I'm not worthy of having someone with both aspects. And so then they kind of give up on searching for that person that embodies everything that they want. And so what I'm talking about today is being able to navigate those, I'm going to call them troubled waters, as a healed feminine who knows who you are and knows your mission and purpose and has a firm foundation. Because certain people have very powerful energy. 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, you're encountering energies that you've encountered over and over again in past lives. And so when you encounter these energies, there can often be like this instant connection. And that's what scares people as well, because it's like, well, damn, I've only really known you for like a date or two or a week or two, and I feel like I'm already in love. And so the feminine energy ends up getting the short end of the stick in those scenarios. And then you like scratching your head like, I didn't even do anything. Like, what happened? I don't know what I did. And then that could potentially affect your foundation that you have already established. And so I'm here to talk to those feminine energies who are very powerful, very ancient energies, have healed your masculine and balanced your masculine and feminine within. Those are the people who need to be able to shift in and out of dark feminine seamlessly. And when I talk about dark feminine, again, I'm not talking about doing any kind of spell work. I'm not talking about using dark energies for anything negative. I'm just talking about dark energy being standing up for yourself, setting boundaries for yourself, remembering who you are in every scenario and situation, knowing that you are in control of you at all times. Because as much as people want to play mental gymnastics with the feminine, especially a strong, powerful feminine, when you know who you are and you know that you're in charge, they can play all the mental gymnastics they want to. They can walk away feeling, having their ego boosted, like, yeah, I done broke down a strong one today. But no, what that masculine really doesn't realize is that the feminine energy is in charge. The feminine energy heals. The feminine energy plants seeds. So just as much as you think that you were in control, the feminine is actually the one in control. And so I wrote, when people play with you emotionally and or mentally, you don't have to stay in that particular energy. And you also don't have to harbor resentment toward the person. You don't have to. Let me tell you something. If you think about the fact that if somebody breaks you down and hurts you and does something terrible to you, you know, within a relationship, we're not talking about physical harm or anything like that. We're just talking about playing with your emotions, playing mind games with you, putting you in an energy where you're like down and depressed and don't want to do anything. You don't want to clean, you don't want to cook, you don't want to take care of yourself. If your ass went to the damn Circle K or some shit and purchased a scratch off and it was a winning $10 million ticket, you know how quickly you would shift out of that energy? In a damn instant. As fast as you could scratch that damn ticket, you would shift out of that energy. And so that's what I'm talking about, using your dark feminine to shift out of that energy. Because I've been in situations where the person was just pumping me up and telling me how beautiful I am and telling me how dope I am and telling me how powerful I am and keep going and you're doing a great job and I admire you and all of these things, because this person was used to using their words to manipulate people and get people to do what they want. It's like if this person was that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, it would, if that person was a damn book, it would be, that would be the damn book. That has good and bad aspects, because when sometimes, that I told this person, I was like, that's how episodes of Snapped are created. Because when you play with the wrong person, it can create all kinds of chaos. And people do that all the damn time. They run up on the wrong person and they play mind games with that person, and then all hell breaks loose because that person crazier than 10 bed bugs. There's a difference between being tapped in and intuitive and knowing who you're dealing with from like a past life perspective and understanding the instant connection versus encountering someone who is just obsessed with being in a relationship, obsessed with having somebody, and will just take any damn body. That is not the same. And so if you're trying to use what I call mental gymnastics on that person, you gonna damn set a whole ass damn set of fireworks off. And I'm not talking about the damn 4th of July either. That shit's gonna set a damn fire and burn everything down. Cause I did a reading, man, I don't know, it might have been like a year ago now. I did a reading where this chick was like, is such and such my person? And I was like, no, he is not your person. He has a whole ass relationship. And she was like, oh, but he told me that he was gonna leave, or you know, like she was just basically playing with the situation, having full knowledge of it. She came up in here trying to get me to do a reading like I wasn't gonna pick up on the fact that he's in a whole ass relationship. And so I was telling her, I said, sweetie, the way your energy is reading, you need to bail out now. Because homeboy is not going to leave who he's with. And if he keeps playing with you and you keep playing with him, it's going to be a spontaneous combustion, and you're going to be the match that ignites the damn fire and burns his whole shit down. And I could see that being really bad. Like people getting hurt physically. And so I was trying to give her that warning, like, back off now. Because when somebody, first of all, when somebody tells you that they are in love with someone, they're going to marry that person, they're going to be with that person, you better believe them. You better believe them. Because anything other than that is delusion. Now, if that person happens to break up with the person and they're single again and then they're ready to mingle and be with you, that's a totally different scenario. I'm not saying to wait on that shit either. I'm not waiting on nothing. If I give you a window of opportunity and you miss that window and the shot clock runs down, that's just your damn loss. Because when you know who you are and you have healed that masculine and feminine, and you know that you are pushing out all of that healing energy, you know that you are the pot of gold. And that's not to say that the masculine isn't the prize as well. But you know that anyone who is with you is going to be up leveled, is going to be abundantly blessed, and is going to have riches untold. Do you hear me? When you know who you are and you stand in that power, it doesn't matter what a masculine or feminine does to you in romantic relationships. You take what Spirit was saying is you just be in the moment. Like when I was having this conversation with this person, I was just enjoying being in the moment. I was enjoying being free. I was enjoying the compliments. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is potential bullshit. But because I know who I am, I'm just going to be in the moment, and I'm just going to receive as a feminine energy. I'm going to receive all of the positive energy. I'm going to let this person fill my cup up. And I'm going to, when the moment is over, I'm going to take my full cup and I'm going to drink. And I'm going to sift the energy of anything negative, any bullshit that was behind it, any ill intentions that were involved. And I'm going to take all of that positive energy and I am going to alchemize that shit for my power, for my purpose, for my journey. And I'm just going to chill, knowing that the experience that we had together, I planted seeds of healing. So if that person decides to go another route, that's cool. If the person gets right and comes with me, that's great. That's even better. I'm not saying that it doesn't sting or it doesn't hurt to think of the person you want to be with someone else. But when you sit in that power, knowing that you are on a specific high calling, divine mission and purpose, you don't get shaken off of your square when people come into your life and play with you. You just don't. And so Spirit was saying, hold on a second. So Spirit was saying, So where what I like I was talking about earlier, where we mess up is remaining in the energy and remaining in the energy of feeling like someone just did us completely dirty, and causing that to affect how we interact with the world after that, and affecting allowing it to affect our energy, because with women with feminine energy especially, because we have the ability to heal the masculine. If we're operating from a place of extreme pain and hurt, that is how you're pushing your energy out to the world, because the feminine energy is constantly pushing healing energy out to the world, or what should be healing energy. But if you are transmuting that, what's supposed to be healing energy, and transmuting it into pain and trauma and memories of all kinds of pain, and you're not alchemizing that energy properly, and you're pushing that out, you're essentially pushing that out to the world, whether it be romantic relationships, relationships at work, relationships with just other people, even on the internet. Like that energy, that pain and that hurt can be pushed out and translated energetically as envy and deceit, hate, just being an op. Okay, the essentially ops are made from interpersonal relationships, whether it be your parents did you dirty and talk crazy to you, and now you're just in this energy of like, you know being mad at the world and being mad and hating on people who you feel like are doing better than you or whatever, because your parent told you that you weren't valuable and you weren't going to amount to anything. um I'm trying to get this thing to work. But yeah, so it doesn't even have to originate from a romantic relationship gone bad. It can definitely originate from that inner child work that is not being done. And so, like I was saying earlier, when you let these painful encounters or challenging encounters to shape or change the composition of your heart, it causes you to interact with the world in this destructive way. Because just as powerful as feminine energy is in a healing way, it is just as powerful on the flip side in a destructive way. And so when that dark feminine energy is used for destruction, that is how you have energies where they're presenting as this well put together individual who has like siren energy and all of this magnetizing energy, but gets with the masculine and totally dismembers his energy. That is some dark ass, destructive, feminine ass energy. And it in turn affects the masculine's feminine energy within him. And so that's why the people that I talk to who embody that Isis energy, that healing energy, that energy that can put the masculine back together. That's why these energies encounter these broken men or dismembered men, because they are seeking, they are actually being magnetized towards you in order to be a healing component for them. So whether you talk to them for 30 minutes, or whether you go on 2 dates with them, or whether you spend a year with them, or whether you spend 15 years with them, you are healing the masculine energy. You are planting seeds within the masculine energy. You are basically rebirthing the sun. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. Ironically, I was channeling information about rebirthing or resurrecting the sun. And so, hold on. So, my God, all praises to the Most High. So yesterday in my live, I was talking about the portal to the sun is opening. Spirit was having me look at how hot the surface of the sun is, basically the power of the sun, the life-giving energy that comes from the sun. I was channeling soul level DNA upgrades. And I was channeling Anita Baker, Rapture of Love. And so that's essentially what I'm talking about. When you have that healing energy, you basically rapture people up into your love. And that's how you draw these people into you, you magnetize them to you, and you rapture them in your love. And that's where the healing is. And I was channeling past life divine union. I was channeling sun bathing, sun gazing. I was also channeling, because when I typed in 1111 sun, that what came up, I'm here in Phoenix, and there's a city called Anthem. And so what came up was the Anthem Veterans Memorial. So there's a structure in this Anthem Veterans Memorial, so that on Veterans Day 11/11 every year, it's structured so that the sun shines through this veteran memorial, and it basically channels the sunlight onto the ground in a certain way, so that at 11/11 on Veterans Day, the sun penetrates through this veteran, if you will. So if you are dealing with a veteran, that may be something that is significant to you in particular. And so the sun resurrected has penetrated through this memorial masculine veteran, if you will, and it transforms people. And so what I'm not saying that this purpose and this calling and this journey is not a lonely one. It's not a and when I say lonely, I'm never alone because I always have my spirit team. I always have my higher self. But it can be isolating. It can get lonely, and um, it can be, like a downer type situation. And I was saying today, like I'm just wondering how much longer am I gonna have to be single? Like, what is this all about? And so instead of, you know, taking a day like today and being unhappy that I'm still single, or focusing on what my life doesn't look like at this exact moment, I chose to just enjoy the moment. And so that's what I encourage everyone to do. I hope that something I said today penetrates you. And look, the Empress card, I was basically talking about Empress energy the whole time. I hope that something I said triggers something in you to say it's not about like and I'm not talking about being in the energy of like hustling men or moving in your masculine to like detach your emotions from things. And that's one of the biggest challenges, is being able to dive into a situation with your emotions, allow you and the other person's emotions to just flow, being vulnerable, being open to receive, being open to give, and just an exchange of giving and receiving and filling each other's cup, and then just enjoying that moment and then moving to a different space when that moment is over. The problem is that we try to just bask in that moment constantly, and we ruminate and ruminate and ruminate, and when it doesn't work out, then people get pissed off and have a really hard time getting over the situation, not really looking at the situation from a higher perspective. That's the only way that I have been able to like alchemize the energy. I've been able to detach from the outcome. I'm able to shift gears easily. And that's what the spirit is like showing me, a manual vehicle where you shift the gears manually. There's two different motions that have to happen in the same time for the gears to shift smoothly. You have to hit that, you have to use both of your feet to hit that friction point right at the right moment. And if you need to shift gears, shift the gear. So like you're hitting the friction point and you're shifting the gears, and then when you simultaneously are doing that smoothly, there's no jerking, there's no rolling back and all this other stuff. You hit that sweet spot perfectly, you shift seamlessly, and you can move in and out of these situations, and you can turn the corner and take another direction and go towards someone else. And people get so fixated on, is this my person? Is this my soulmate? Is this my twin flame? Is this? Is this that? And I've encountered, and what really has messed with me is that I've encountered multiple people that seem like the one. The synchronicities or synchronicity, if that's a word, The places this person is taking me is aligning. The conversations we're having is aligning. The cards are aligning. The reading is aligning. But what people don't realize is that energy is fluid. People have their own free will. If I do a love reading today and you crash out and do something crazy to fuck with the relationship, the energy is going to shift and the reading will be different tomorrow or the next hour or whatever. And I have gotten readings where I think that I'm getting a reading on the particular person that I'm with, but it'll actually be a future reading about somebody different. But because in my mind, I'm focusing on like my interactions with this person. And when I say getting a reading on the person, I mean getting a love reading. I'm not talking about doing readings on people without their consent. If someone is in my energy and I'm getting a love reading and I'm thinking about a particular person, the person that I'm interacting with at that moment, I will associate that reading with the person, but it may actually be someone else. And then confirmation, Bert, when the relationship goes south or something happens, I can't say, well, Spirit, you fucking with me and you're playing games with my mind, will, and emotions when you giving me this reading, because now it's not what you said it was going to be. And it could be somebody totally different. And so that's what something that really needs to be considered when you're getting a love reading or you're asking about someone in particular. It could really end up being that the reader is reading some future energy of someone that is not even related to, the situation. Because when you have a divine soulmate, a divine union, that's different from all this other bullshit that comes along the line to challenge you and test you and level you up and do all those things. Diane, if you want a question, you can send the 1111. But though all of those things, I lost my train of thought now. All of those things can challenge what you're trying to do. Okay. And I hope I'm making sense, because paying attention to that just distracted me. I really hate when people do that. Please don't come in this live and spam or comment something where you have an expectation that you're gonna get a free reading or something like that. Please don't do that. But yeah, so essentially when you have a love reading, you always have to take into consideration that you can only control yourself. You cannot control anybody else's free will, no matter how hard you try. It may seem like you can control somebody's free will, but you cannot. And that brings me to another point, because a lot of people feel like that they can play with people's energy by, like, that song by Missy Elliott, that Pussy Don't Fail Me Now, I Gotta Turn This Brother Out. That shit only lasts but so long. You turning this person out sexually is only going to be very short-lived, because eventually the person is going to get bored with that. Especially if you don't have the personality to support it and balance those things. Because I'm hearing pussy come a dime a damn dozen. So I could sit here and talk about how great my stuff is all day long. But if I don't have the personality to support it, meaning if I don't know how to communicate with my partner, if I don't know how to encourage that person, if I don't know how to be a big supporter to that person in just all aspects, if I don't trust that person's leadership, all of those things, it's just not gonna work. It's just seriously not gonna work. And so, anything and everything are possibilities. Like, I know somebody that, okay, I'm not gonna say that. I was about to say something about one of my family members, but I'm not gonna say that. Hey, girl. Hey, twin. You said, I'm going to cuss you, twin. Wow, what happened? What happened? Oh, so I thought you weren't going live. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. Because when I'm meditating before live, I do that. He said, like an architect, I can create worlds out of stone. I'm a king on the throne, blazing new trails just to put my people on. Elevating daily on a mission for my people, all the love I've been receiving. You said, well, someone came in the kitchen while I was cooking and was like, yes, you are. Oh! Was that your higher self? Was that your sassy higher self holding you accountable? And have you put your lives up? Because I be wanting to watch them while I'm at work. You said her and Yana together. Oh, okay. I'm gonna watch some tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna say listen to them because I'm gonna be working. Just for clarification, I'm gonna be working at work, and I will watch your YouTube. Listen to your YouTube. I need to get caught up with posting my lives too, because they're only in the I want to call it the back office. They're only in the back office for 30 days. So I gotta make sure I am downloading them quickly. It was good. I didn't do a whole lot, but that was good too. All of these daggone reversals. I guess Spirit is like, well, you needed to, we needed to bring all this shit out from the collective. He said, oh, the girl at work is like us because we've been watching each other and today we was able to chat. Okay, so you mean like a spiritualist? Thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift. So I was talking about the masculine being dismembered or suffering injustice from a really hard relationship. So suffering hardship on the part of like we'll just for the scenario's purpose to make it simple, a masculine being dismembered or broken down energetically, heart-wise, emotionally by this messed up relationship. Okay, this person that they thought was hitting all cylinders, gonna be their person, and then just bam, just tragedy. Okay, feeling straight left out in the cold. And you say, yes, I've been sent to help her embrace them. I knew I had a new assignment and she's part of it. Okay. Talk about what let him suffer in silence. And so this suffering, this injustice from this relationship will cause a person to just be indecisive, anxiety filled, scared to be in relationships. And that's what I was talking about, just basically ghosting people, running off on the plug as soon as they get reminded of the person that hurt them. And that's what I was talking about, just giving up this, like, fuck it, I'm not even gonna go that route because this person reminds me too much of who hurt me and I'm just not even gonna fuck with it. But they end up missing out. Like, you so busy being burdened and shit and succumbing to all of this, and you miss out on your damn blessing. Then we have the Hierophant in reverse, and I was talking about the divine feminine and how the divine feminine can be that healing energy, that energy that sparks awakening and remembrances. And I feel like the Hierophant is in reverse because this person is a spiritualist. This person, we're not talking about your average run-of-the-mill traditional type chicks. Because like I was talking about the other day, the church ain't getting it. Okay? And you can damn not like what the hell I'm saying if you want to. But just like I was saying, this non-traditional divine feminine energy can come in and create all kinds of recovery, getting this person out of their head, out of anxiety, bring that healing energy. Okay? And like I said, help the person move to calmer waters. Help the person move out of all that mental ruminating over past problems or challenges that they had in relationships. And the divine masculine can do the same thing. And, you know, there's a man that's kind of like sheltering a woman and a child. And so the spirit's like divine masculine can do that too. It should be a very reciprocal relationship. Just as much as she's healing him, he's assisting her. So he's like providing and protecting, and she's healing. And so I feel like a lot of this is going to be done through like communication, talking the person off a ledge, if you will, and just getting them to see and understand like what's really going on behind the scenes, especially if you're a reader or you are an intuitive counselor or therapist. That is such a beautiful combination of like having a conversation with someone and talking them through the situation. Like just how a man will talk you through, you know, okay? A woman, a feminine energy can talk your ass through a situation to help you heal. You said, then go to therapy. Oh, Lord, I hadn't even read that. You talk about then go to therapy. Because that's not my problem. You said, I will pass on that. Well, you wouldn't have liked my collective message earlier because I was talking about the feminine energy and how sometimes you are magnetizing people to you who need your healing energy, and sometimes you're just interacting with this person to plant seeds in them, to heal them, and then send them on their way. And so unfortunately, this is the unpleasant part of certain journeys. Because when you're a divine feminine and you have a lot of healing energy, there is a lot of that happens. And if you are not grounded and know who you are and know where your power lies, it's not always going to end the way you want it to. And if you let these encounters break you down versus building you up, then that's where the damn disconnect happens. And that's where people get into like desperation mode just to be in a relationship and trying to manipulate people through spell work and all this other kind of stuff. And you know, it's not the happiest place to be, because people, and that's why it bugs me out when people want to destiny swap with me and shit. I'm like, you really want this shit? You really want this shit? Like, you really want to be walking karma? You really want to have to go into a job, and every time you encounter somebody new at the damn job, you got to be there a fucking walking karma. So that means that they gonna lie on you, damn, maybe just do some old dumb shit to you to have you jammed up. You know, like, I don't, who wants that shit? Who want, like, I want that. But you want to take my destiny because all you see is what I'm showing to the world. You don't see all that other shit that I be having to go through. Sometimes I be walking karma to these niggas. Did I just say niggas? Ninjas. Because maybe they done did so many females so dirty. And then they come into my energy and they like, whoa, oh my God, oh shit, oh hell. What just happened? What just happened to my heart? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I going through this? Why am I experiencing all these damn emotions? It's because you had to come to me for healing and karma. So now you done met your match. You done found somebody you really want to be with, and it's not gonna work because you scared as hell and go running. You said, I know he doesn't get another go. I know, but he doesn't get another go. That's what the oil will do. Oh Lord. Yeah, you said it. Yeah, I'm not saying let this person come back around again and again, because that's where boundaries come in. But if some, instead of, I'm talking about, like, instead of letting the situation break you down, if you look at it from a higher perspective, then you don't have to allow it to affect your energy to the point where you give up on love, or feel like there's something wrong with you, or feel like that because I was talking to someone today, and I was talking about how I really got affected at one point by married men coming at me. And it would be a situation where it was like, you were married, then you got divorced. You didn't holler at me when you were divorced because I sent you back to your wife. Okay, when you came at me when you were married, I sent you back to your wife and helped you figure out how to make the relationship work. It still didn't work. You got divorced. You didn't holler at me. Then you got married again, and now you want to holler at me again when you married, nigga? Is you stupid? Like, it was breaking me down to the point where I was like, what about me? It looked like homeboy in that video. What is it about me that makes you think that I would be side chick material? Help me understand. What part of that? Ain't none. And so I was like, what the hell is going on here? But what happens is men get brave when they have a backup plan in place. So you ain't have the courage to come at me when you were single, because then you might come for me and get your feelings hurt if I send you back. But you would rather come for me and have a fallback. And so if something happens, goes awry with me, then you always got a backup plan. Nah, we're not playing that game. Yeah, he said, all I ask is don't take our love for granted. My love for you is real, and if you don't love me, somebody else will. Hot damn. If you don't love me, somebody else will. The song is called Comfortable. And that's what I just said. Like when you get comfortable in your relationship, then you want to grow the balls to come for me, so that if I reject you, you always got your wife to fall back on. Nah. You said I'm not the substitute. That's what you always had, and baby, I'm not her. You know. Mm-mm. Now, and so I feel like for some people, who there's some circumstances where the divine feminine, the non-traditional feminine, can actually help someone be, to recover from this jacked up ass, you know, relationship that totally transformed a person, and they can really become good friends. They can become collaborators, even if like the romantic side of the relationship does not work. They could possibly collaborate on some business ventures or whatever. And so that's what I was talking about. It's like detach from the outcome. If you can just take whatever you benefited from in that moment, and just move out of that energy and just get back on track to where you were in the first place, and you're not allowing someone to basically mind fuck you, and then you're devastated because they were using mental gymnastics to fuck you up in the head, and now you over here damn fighting for your life, looking crazy because you don't let somebody come in and ignite your fire and do all these things and damn jack you up in the head. And Spirit said Spirit said, nah, we not going for it. We not doing that today. We not doing that any day, because the divine feminine is always in control of herself, is always in control of the situation, whether he knows it or not. And that's the thing. Like, when I interact with people who think that they're smarter than me, or think that they're more manipulative, or got a quicker mind, or can figure me out and get ahead of me in some way, I just sit back and I look and be like, really? Because all I did was I sat here and talked to you for a little while and helped you all the way out of that mental jacked up energy that kept you up at night, where you got sleep apnea and shit. And the song said, fuck with me, you know I got it. Sexy bitch, I hope she bout it. Nuff said, you said, nah, my husband ain't having that. You said, ain't having what? You said, swear I told him you done got too comfortable and I'll make you uneasy. What you mean your husband ain't having that? Talking about you being in a friendship? Ooh. Oh, you said you love playing slow. Me having an ex as a friendship / business partner. No, I'm not talking about an ex. I'm talking about just somebody you encountered that you helped heal. Cause I was talking about um it doesn't have to be a long encounter. It doesn't have to be a whole ass relationship. It could just be like you all meet. And like for instance, I met this guy on a dating app, but I saw that he was a realtor and I needed to sell my house. This dude ended up becoming the best damn realtor I have ever dealt with. We never slept together, we never kissed. We went on one date and he became my realtor. And I don't mix business with pleasure like that. So he became my realtor. He ended up finding the perfect person to rehab my house before I sold it. He found he has a huge family. So he's got electricians that was able to install the new dishwasher for the people that bought the house. The guy that fixed up the house for the sale, his wife found a person that ended up buying my house for cash. It was just like a whole. Now the divine was all over it. Totally. The divine was all over that shit. But this person was like the total package. And he's a good looking dude. And he makes good money. But I was more like, I need you from a business standpoint. And I'm sure that from the conversations that we've had over the years, because we've become really good friends, from the conversations we've had over the years, I have helped him to heal in some shape, form, or fashion. So I'm talking about romantic relationships, but like I said, I met him on a dating app, but it didn't end up even going there. Like we have never been intimate, none of that shit. Yeah. So so it could start out like that, and you could have a conversation with the person, and it end up just being a friendship. And like I don't talk to him. I talk to him regularly now because I have my mother's property that I'm dealing with, but I don't talk to him like, oh, that's my homeboy. We talk, we're best friends. We talk every week. Like I talk to him when I need something business wise, and we may end up having like a side conversation. But for the most part, I'm just like, we talk business. And he's such a good person just in general and has given me so much solid advice, and he's upfront and honest that I will work with him in any business deal. I will work with him in any real estate deal. He's so knowledgeable. I might send this clip to him because I'm definitely bigging his ass up. But I've told him this, I've told him these things where like I would recommend him to anybody for their real estate needs and things like that. Cause he don't let people play with me. He's like, I'm not gonna let anybody hustle you. Cause honey, when you have a property in a prime location and folk think cause you black and you may not have a lot of money or whatever that you just gonna take whatever the hell they throw at you. Nah. That's when you need a strong advocate. You said, oh, let me extend my date. He needs to get a realtor license. Who you talking about? The guy you supposed to meet? She said, yeah, they want my land, bitch. Oh my Lord. She just said, yeah, they want my land, bitch. She said, I'm truth like a motherfucking honest bitch. Honey, let me tell you something. I'm talking now, like the conversation I was having with you about real estate was just on some random shit. Okay, not random, but kind of random, off the topic. And then she said, "Yeah, they want my land, bitch. Come on now. They want my land now. They want my land. They want my land." You said. You said my mom let me extend my date. Clock it. I told you she was. I told you she was. And that temp thing that you're doing is definitely what helped with that. And I was gonna say something to you, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna let it rock. And she did. I told you. I done told you. So yeah, like shadow work. I was talking about the dark feminine energy. You can actually use your dark feminine energy to your advantage. And that's what I've been talking about. Is when I talk about dark feminine energy, I'm not talking about spell work. I'm just talking about setting boundaries, standing up for yourself. So when you do that shadow work, and you shine a light on the things that need to be worked on in the shadows, and you activate that dark feminine energy, I was talking about earlier, I'll activate that dark feminine energy on site when necessary. Because like I said, you want to do something crazy to me, I don't have to do anything negative to you, but I am going to activate that dark feminine energy in order to defend myself and stand up for myself. I'm going to compile any documentation necessary. Holla at me. Nuck if you bug. You said, once I told her they gave me a definite schedule, I decided to talk to her today. And she said, yes. And I said, outside of buying groceries, I'll help her with the bill too. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. So everything is falling into place. And I said falling into place, and the leaves are falling. This is the moving on card. So everything is falling into place. You'll be able to move on shortly. You know. And Spirit said that when that intuition is on point, you know exactly who you are. And that's what I was talking about. Knowing who you are, being solid in your gifts and your purpose and your mission and your calling. I'm hearing you're like a damn beacon to the divine. When you know who you are a beacon for the divine, a beacon of light. Your light shines so brightly, people be blinded and don't even know what the hell is going on. Confirmation birth. And Spirit said, just chill, just rest and rejuvenate, get your damn strength up. Cause I done told y'all, and then those trees look like 11:11. Today is the 11:11 portal. Getting grounded, getting stable, because this portal energy is heavy. This portal energy is really heavy. Whew. I'm about to get all up off of here so I can get my ass up for work in the morning. And this song is in line with what I was talking about. He said, you done came into my life while I was sinking. I've been on that type of time with demons. All the time I was outside, I was creeping. It was love at first sight, girl, when you walked in. And that's what I've been talking about this whole life. Being that healing energy, that healing feminine energy. To tame the demons in people. I said, y'all be your own beacon of light on the way to a lighthouse. Y'all have been your own beacon of light. Is that what you said in your live? Couldn't look deep in your eyes because I get locked in. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I won't waste your time. And we got the 9 of Pentacles. That's why I said rest. Spirit is saying rest and rejuvenate. Here we got the Hierophant again. And that's that wisdom. That's that teacher energy, that spiritual leader energy, that and there was a picture with the feminine as the Hierophant. It's that divine feminine energy. The divine feminine teaches the masculine energetically. The divine feminine can communicate with the masculine telepathically and heal him. And that's what I was talking about, that Isis energy. And Spirit is saying that the divine feminine just allows the masculine to rest in her energy and her healing nature. And now the song on is Exchange by Bryson Tiller. And he said, the song says, This what happened when I think about you. I get in my feelings, yeah, I start reminiscing. Next time around, I want it to be different. Waiting on the sign, guess it's time for a different prayer. Lord, save her for me. Okay. Success, spotlight, victory, success, public recognition. Yeah, because you balance. She said, Spirit said, you balance, girl, you balance. It's time. It's winning season, I'm hearing. It's time to win. Yeah, rest up. Rest up now. Because in a minute, you're not going to be able to go outside. You're not going to be able to go outside unrecognized in a hot minute. So get it all in. Get it, rest up. I keep saying, y'all going to have to learn how to be celebrities real quick. But when you use all that creativity for good, for the benefit of others, when you exchange your energy with people to help them level up, I'm hearing seeing the fruits of your labor, your intuition leveling up. I was talking about DNA upgrades yesterday. Spirit said, You close that cycle, and now it's time to be on. It's your victory lap. That cycle is closed. Cause when you start realizing that you're responding to situations and circumstances differently, that's when you know that you have your efforts to do that shadow work has completed. Your efforts to do that shadow work has been effective. Cause if you doing shadow work, if you think you doing shadow work, and then you still reacting and not responding, when you don't stop and think, you just impulsively react and you're not responding. There's more shadow work that needs to be done. And we got the seven of Pentacles, that fertile energy, growing your gifts, cultivating your creativity. We're talking about harnessing your energy, taking charge of your energy, harnessing your darkness. Because, like, I talk about this one has a dark horse, this one has a white horse or a light horse. And so when you have harnessed that energy, you can use the darkness, I'm hearing, for your good and forward movement and advancement, and you can also catapult yourself into the light. And the damn Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Seven of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. Huh? Come on, Spirit. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. And 7 and 9 is 16, which ends up being 7 ultimately. And so we talking about lucky number 7. We talking about life path 7. And he said, maintain the rock, and she is sitting on a rock. We're talking about a firm foundation. We're talking about using your creative gifts as a leader, using your prosperity to assist with others, helping others, feed others, using the fruits of your labor and your wisdom and all the work that you've done and all the I'm hearing solar plexus work that you've done. I'm hearing birthing new ideas and creativity. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. All right, we're gonna pull one more card, one more. If another one wants to come out. And the Queen of Swords. I was saying earlier, when people try to play mental gymnastics with you, you just sitting back looking like the Queen of Swords, like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? I'm in charge here. I'm 50 steps ahead of you mentally. I'm hearing your mind runs at the speed of fucking light. Cause like that sword is piercing through the light of the moon. That brain power is faster than the speed of light. Maintain the rock. We have the scales of balance, and we have temperance. The scales have balanced in your favor. Karmic justice is being served, I'm hearing. That cycle has closed. You want to talk about some unfuckwittable energy? This right here is what I've been talking about the whole live. Maintain the rock. Balance, temperance. Unfuckwittable energy now. When you out here closing cycles, when you out here opening and closing portals, and I just said, when you out here opening and closing portals, look what the hell is on the top. Portal of light. The sun is a portal. Today is 11/11, the number of the sun. When I didn't even see that car, I promise you. And I just said, when you opening and closing portals, you said, yo, that card was at the split of my deck tonight, and the first one out. Which one? This Isis card? And then we have Wings of Isis. Oh, the Queen of Swords. Okay. Yeah, that mind is strong. And you see that bird sitting on this person's head? That is that intuition. That intuition is quick. Quick. We talk about, and I'm hearing that tongue is quick too. So with that Mercury in Aries, if you have a Mercury in Aries, honey, that mind and that mouth be as quick as other people think they are, and as swift and quick thinking and fast on their feet as other people are. You just like, look at this dummy. Get lost in the whirlwind. You be out here lost in a damn whirlwind by the time you get done. And I ain't got to say a damn word. The collective ain't got to say a word. You say your Mercury is in Aquarius, and so is your sun. Okay. And we have the Wings of Isis. And I've been talking about Isis the whole, like, not in the whole live, but in the, well, yeah, essentially the whole live. Because I was talking about how that is like, Isis embodies the feminine part of Source. And I was talking about, because I channeled that song yesterday, Rapture of Love. And I was talking about like getting caught up in the rapture of love. And so with Isis wings being as big as they are, her wings can come around and basically rapture the person into her energy. And honey, we got divine sisterhood. Enough said. The whole live is now clocked. You hear me? The whole live is officially clocked. Because my sister is in the live, okay? And I appreciate you hanging out with me, because you definitely could have been in the bed, because I know you got to go to work tomorrow. Present. So you know Isis and Hecate are one and the same. Oh, are they? I figured Isis, I knew Isis and what's the other one? It starts with an H, I think. I hadn't heard Hecate, but I heard damn, what is that other one? there's like a whole, yeah, look at the gifts and things. Oh, okay. Hathor. I thought it was Hathor. I got, yeah, Hathor. Yeah. All right, girl. I got to get out of here so I can get my ass up. All right, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow on the flip side. Okay. You said, yeah, someone is hoping. So, yeah, someone is hopping in the shower. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you tomorrow. Good night.